I think the main reason that I'm making this is because I've been watching Mr. Girl videos. Um, I think probably 99% of people have no idea who that is, and the other 1% probably hate my guts for even watching the content. But I actually strongly relate to a lot of the things he's saying, and he's very open and vulnerable, and I admire his bravery to make content. So I thought I needed to be honest about something that's going on with me. And also, I recently got banned from a shitposting group on Facebook, and I was hoping that that would be my in to make sweet gains with hot babes. And now that that's gone, I'm back to making videos in hopes that some beautiful broad comes across these beautiful green, not hazel, green eyes. And they're like, you know what, Gilly? You are something special. Can we play Fortnite? And I'm like, no, bitch, I don't play Fortnite. But that's okay. I won't judge you for it. But this group, it was a shitposting group about creeps on dating apps, basically. And it's mostly just men with outrageously crazy bios and horrible opening lines, horrible bag fumbling, just in general people being very gross. But that wasn't all of it. Some of it was just they had one or two words that you're not supposed to have, and people would just drag them for it. Or sometimes it would just be that they're too ugly or just really unflattering photos of themselves. And it was a bully group. I think that's what a lot of groups are. And obviously this was a women's space primarily. Since they're the ones that are on the receiving end of it. And a lot of shit posting groups on Facebook are women's spaces in general. So as a man, I had to navigate that in a different way. I had to be very delicate with how I presented myself, be very soft. And in general, I'm well socialized with women in general. So that's not really a problem for me, even if I have dissenting or disagreeing opinions. What happened though was it started months ago, where I thought I would just kind of show my support and show something funny and have a hypothetical. A couple months ago, I would open up all my Hinge prompts with hypothetical questions mostly. I was like, hey, we got to make snakes cuter. Would you say they are? Would you add googly eyes to snakes or big floppy bunny ears? And I think that's an interesting question. It's fun, it's stupid, whatever. And some people just thought it was funny, but there were a lot of women that just insisted that I was roasting her. I was insulting something that she really liked. Or that I was talking about my penis. And I was not. But that was the first saga. So I was no stranger to controversy. And then I made some silly photos, just straight up asking, like, hey, any hot babes in here want to get together? And I really like that photo of myself. I think it's one of my best ones. I've got Hades 2 in the background. It's pretty good. I think I'll make it my profile photo. And I do genuinely have it on Tinder and Hinge, I think. And then I made a post asking if they could Photoshop my ex-girlfriend out because it was a photo of myself that I really liked. And it was just me in another silly shirt. And I poorly Photoshopped Penny from Stardew Valley, like, in my arms. It was great. People really liked that one. And then I kind of ran out of ideas, and then I floated some other things every now and then. But eventually I got hit with the ban hammer. I think it's because people are just super argumentative in the comments. Some for most of them, people didn't understand that my content is, it's not really satire, but it's more anti-humor, playing up a bit. I always was very honest and delicate with how I presented things. The most recent controversy I had that I think ended up getting me the hammer was I showed my most recent Tinder bio. And, well, you can see for yourself. It's quite a doozy. Doc says I'm morbously a beast. Lose my number if you're the kind to cry that I left you and the rest of the deadweight squad to go win, even though last round I gave you the purple sniper and somehow got more Ks than you with the blue pistol. I like my women like I like my toilet paper. Obedient. Unlike most men in mergers and acquisitions, I actually like it. So, where do you work out? So yeah, that's very weird and stupid. But I mean, that's all it is. It's just utter childish nonsense. And frankly, I don't think it's going to match me with the person that I want to be with anyway, because it's a lot of Zoomer lingo. And honestly, I think I do better talking with older women. I am 25, and I think probably my dream woman's probably like 28 to 30 right now. But dating apps in general are just about, I think dating apps as a whole, by and large, are just, hey, you're hot and or attractive. Let's start a conversation. I think that's the whole extent of what dating apps are supposed to be. And local, of course, because you can find hot and or attractive or interesting people anywhere on the internet. But that's but I've learned that pretty much nobody wants to have a conversation with me in my zip code. On my Tinder profile, it says that I'm 28, and that probably means that I signed up when I was 15 just to get on the app. So that means over a decade of swiping. And let's say that I use all my swipes, like maybe a third, or like 100 days out of the year. And all that time, I can count meaningful conversations I've had on the app. I could probably count it on my hands. And that's disheartening. I haven't been on Hinge all that long, a couple years, I think. And I've gotten one date out of it in the last 2 years. And it was a great date, and she was very cute. And it was just a nice little coffee date, but she wasn't interested in continuing. Looking back on it, I could have done the date a little bit better. But I just went full weirdo, just trying to let that flag fly. And I think it was a decent strategy, especially with the way that I just kind of present myself. But sorry, this is a weird video to make. I've never made anything so off the cuff and personal and sensitive. I think a lot of the ways that I convey myself nowadays is a very kind of plastic, insincere way. But part of the conversation we need to have is being objective about who I am. And objectively, I'm pretty high up there kind of guy. And like let's be real. Like I'm fat. The hair is kind of hit or miss. Ugly mug a little bit. Great smile, dimples. I think my old coworker said it best. They said, "You're not ugly. but the person that you meet with and match, they're not gonna like you for your looks. And I think that's very true. But on top of carrying a lot of extra body fat, I am pretty strong. I've got a physical job. I try to take care of myself. I'm young. But I'm also polite, good listener, funny. I try to do good. I think these are kind of all of those qualities that I just said are mutable, and you can place those in a dating profile. And a lot of the other positives and the negatives, and believe me, there are plenty. Those are things that you can't really glean out of a profile. So yeah, like, I'm a big slob, and my room's a mess, and I spend all my time either at work or playing video games. And that kind of makes me fundamentally boring. But you can't get that just from a picture and a bio. No matter what that bio or that picture is, really. I'm also not sex driven, which is a plus and a minus in a lot of cases. But I don't really want to advertise that on any app because I think it just puts some weird expectations on people. Like say if I write that I'm demisexual on a profile, well, then that might turn away people, or it might seem condescending or weird if I make like weird sexual puns or humor sort of thing, even if that's sort of like a green humor that's not meant to be taken personally or suggestively, or maybe suggestively, but not as a way to branch the conversation into something that I don't want it to be either. I just want to be goofy. I want to go ahead and clarify that I do get some matches, not a lot, on Tinder. Maybe like 1 or 2 in a 2-week period. And every time I open it, it's always an obese woman or a trans woman, which shows those are the 2 types that I'm pretty much not interested in. And that's not... I think the reason that I really wanted to make this video was because I'm scared to say that out loud, as though I'm not allowed to have those preferences when they're completely valid and fair. I think if a woman was in similar shape to me, about 20 pounds overweight, extra body fat, I'm actually pretty attracted to that. But when I hear, like on profiles, chubby or fat, typically they mean obese, being 60 to 100 pounds overweight with some big health problems. It seemed like I wouldn't seriously consider dating a smoker. It's, I can love you and appreciate everything else about you, but we're headed down a path that you're headed down a path that I'm not interested in following. Or perhaps you're coming up on a more health conscious path like I am, but you're too far behind. You're too early in the process for me to be interested. And I like pretending what I'm saying here is controversial when it's not. Probably the vast majority of men feel the exact same way as I do. And it's just disappointing to go on Tinder and you know that you're scraping the bottom of the barrel of people that you're not interested in. And there's also a problem of being discerning. I think a lot of people would criticize, like, why would you ever swipe on somebody that you knew you weren't interested in? But I think when you go into Tinder as a man like me, and you've been doing it for a decade now, you can't be emotionally attached to the various profiles you're looking at when it's maybe like a 1 in 500, 1 in 600, 1 in 700 chance that they'll match you back. You know, even getting past that first phase. It's so, the odds are so poor. You can't get invested like that. You swipe, it's a numbers game, and you hope for the best. But the other truth is that I'm pretty interested in just talking to people and socializing at all, because it's good for you. It's good to talk to people and try to make friends. And you probably have something in common with just about anybody. But the other problem is, I think a lot of these other people, they're just looking for hookups, or they're just not capable of having a conversation that I would be interested in. Like just saying hi, or hey, hello, asking about your day. And some people are really into that, but I'm not. I want to like talk about something. And I want to let you know, with Tinder, I've tried dozens and dozens of different bio styles, all true to me. Some of them super short, succinct, some of them very truthful, some of them more about what I'm looking for, more about who I am, sometimes just use a cheesy joke or a line. All of it's authentically me, and it's all been authentically rejected. Probably most aren't even reading the bio in the first place. Like I said, I really like the 3 photos of myself that I have on there, or I think 4 or 5. Some of them are fundamental problems is that they're all by myself. I think I'm going to try experimenting like group photos. If I can get a photo with somebody else, I'll add that. I think it'll be really good. Even though it feels weird. It feels weird to like solicit somebody else's picture on your own file. I've also considered just eliminating the one factor that's been consistent throughout the decade, which is pictures of me. I genuinely was considering a couple weeks ago to experiment, like finding pictures of an attractive man and just using those. But I figured it would either get me banned or it would get my feelings hurt when I actually do get matches. But if that did happen, then I would know that the issue is definitely the photos, and I can fix that. I can't fix me. I like my hair long, and I'll slim down as I go. But I could take better photos, or I could try. Anyway, so that's Tinder. Tinder sucks, and the truth is, there was no way that I would ever. I'm not the kind of person that would find love on Tinder, I think. Hinge is a different level of discernment. I love Hinge a lot more. The profiles on Hinge are way better, generally speaking. Women tend to not put very much information at all in their bios. I would say a lot of them feel very generic and plain, with the same jokes, the same like prompt answers, which isn't to criticize people, because like a lot of people just kind of think the same and have a similar type of humor, and it's cute and funny, it's inoffensive, and you don't really have to rewrite the whole book on a dating profile. Just do what feels natural. You don't have to treat it like a science, for me. So I don't want to say that as a criticism. Women also don't have to put in very much effort, so they don't typically do it. But either way, like you'll go through a Tinder or a Hinge profile and has like six pictures and six or like three prompts. Really good stuff. And it's so easy to get emotionally attached there. And you think for a long time about what would be a good, witty thing to comment on. Because with Hinge, you do get to comment in an opening like. But man, those are painful. Because sometimes you really will find a profile that you like and you don't get anything. And it's hard. But this isn't coming from a place of hating women. Men and women have very unique struggles on the dating app scene. And I think a lot of men would be able to relate to me. To make it clear, I did not make this video to help anybody but myself. I wanted to finally take a leap and be brave and open about something that I actually think about all the time. I think about dating apps and women and interpersonal relationships all the time. I just don't talk about it very much outside of with my friendships. The genuine truth is, I think pretty much most people can just get along, regardless of their sex, their gender, their political leanings, their interests. If you think about most of the people in your real life who met before the internet days, and you made them a profile, would they match together on Tinder, on Hinge? For the people in my life, that's pretty much a no. A lot of them are very kind of opposites attract sort of thing. I think, by and large, just people could get along, do their thing, have a good time. Even if it's not a romantic thing, they can have one or two decent conversations. Maybe it fizzles out. And I think me especially, I do think I'm a cut above a lot of people in terms of being a kind, compassionate person. But I'm a fucking weirdo, like absolute crazy, and I'm a degenerate gamer, terminally online. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that would seriously hinder my ability to form and maintain a healthy romantic relationship. But especially in like the early talking stage, yeah, I'm the best. And not to gas, I don't normally gas myself up this way, but genuinely, I think if I put on my suit and went to a comedy club and just cut it up 3 or 4 times, I would probably be a hit and probably have a decent chance at finding somebody to actually date. Because I think a comedy club is right where my type of woman belongs. And that's where they would be more open to my type of humor and weirdness. But either way, I think being open about these things is important for me. A big problem people have nowadays is that they're not allowed to talk to people. There's no third space. People aren't going to the ice cream social after school or anything like that. You have work and you have home, and that's it. Everything else is a paid place. There's not kind of a special place where local singles can just kind of gather up, other than bars. But even a bar is a very expensive paid place. And I want everybody to understand that it might not be your fault. Like, I think you could probably look through my dating apps and just tear me to shit about all the things I'm doing wrong and how awful my photos look and give valuable criticism. But I've learned through my shit posting days on the now banned Facebook group is that people really have wildly different preferences. Some people like the hi, hello, how you doing? Some want to be sexual right off the bat. Some like really weird, off-the-wall conversations. Some like Zoomer humor. Some like cringy millennial humor. Some like boomer humor. Some like just generally being super sweet. Some of them find that really creepy and off-putting. There's really no right or wrong way to do dating apps other than to express yourself, be honest, don't be resentful towards the other side, because the other side has their problems too. Like probably Jason Momoa, he probably gets a lot of matches if he was on Tinder. But the normal guy isn't Jason Momoa. And so if you're a guy like me who's fairly normal, don't feel bad, I guess. It might not be you. It's just the dating apps are designed to not match you with somebody because they want you to swipe and look at the ads and pay them to try to cut in front of the line. But women don't really care about that. It's not going to help you get matches. They just want your money. And women don't feel bad for being bad at selecting the people on the apps. A lot of people are just so shitty and creepy, and you don't deserve the weird sexual, disastrously kinky and gross sorts of messages you get all the time. And don't take it personally when you reject somebody's obviously horrible offer that they call you fat and ugly, because they might have just been experimenting with language themselves and they didn't express themselves correctly. And you shouldn't feel fat or ugly for saying no. You should say no if you're not interested in something. Just be kind, be yourself, be authentic, be you. Because you can't be me. Sorry. And also understand that even though it feels like these young people like me and my age and younger, especially younger, like there's some sort of expectation that you can only flirt and meet people on Tinder. It's not true. Most people are still meeting up in real life, and that's how they're finding people that they get along with. I'm kind of in an intermediary phase in my life where I'm focusing more on trying to get better health, discipline myself up better so that I'm ready when the right woman does come around. And I'll be moving soon, too. So it would be bad timing to meet a local right now. But I still want to do my best to put myself out there because trying is good. So I'll swipe and I'll keep experimenting. And who knows? The right lady might come around. She might be in the comments down below. You never know. So if you're a hot girl and you like video games, please just send me a message. If not, I will keep making videos until you do. There are a million things that I want to make videos about, but I think I want to make an actual nice polished essay about who Mr. Girl is, because I don't think a lot of people know who he is, or they have a very negative opinion of him. But I think he's actually one of the people who is doing a lot of good things for the world. At least, in terms of like content-wise. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you later.